when the world is wrapped in its deep slumber, when the sounds of life have slowed and the air is thick with silence. It is in that quiet space, in that moment of solitude, that whispers of wisdom and guidance often find their way into our hearts. There's a certain stillness that the night brings, an almost sacred pause where time itself seems to hold its breath. In these precious hours when the noise of the world fades into the background, something extraordinary happens. It is here, in the unseen, in the untouched, that the voice we often overlook becomes clearer, stronger, and undeniably powerful. This is when you listen, not with your ears, but with your soul, to a calling, to a truth that has been waiting for you. Do you know what it feels like to hear that voice? The voice that cuts through the heavy silence like a warm breeze, calling you to rise, to see, to understand something deeper than what meets the eye. It comes not in a whirlwind, not in a loud thunder, not in the chaos that we know too well. No, this voice comes softly, almost imperceptibly, but when it speaks, you feel it in the core of your being. You feel it so deeply that it stirs something inside you, something you might not have known was there, or something that had long been forgotten. It doesn't shout for attention. It doesn't demand to be heard. It speaks in the quiet. And when it speaks, you can't help but listen. You can't help but stop whatever you're doing, whatever distractions may pull you away, and let the words or the message sink deep into the fibers of your soul. It isn't a message that can be understood with the mind alone. It transcends logic. It transcends reason. It reaches the part of you that knows things beyond your comprehension, the part of you that sees with eyes unclouded by doubt. The night, you see, is not just the absence of day. It is a time for clarity. It is a time for reflection, for remembrance. The quiet of the night has a unique power. It brings us to a place where the heart can speak more clearly than the mind. In the rush of daylight, we often drown out the soft stirrings of our inner voices, those gentle nudges that tell us we are on the right path, or perhaps the wrong one. But in the night, when the noise of the world is distant, these whispers grow louder, more vivid, more alive. It is no wonder that many great revelations have come in the stillness of the night. Many of the greatest dreams and visions come not in the daylight, but under the cover of darkness. It is in the quiet night that we allow ourselves to confront our fears, to question the choices we've made, and to face the truths we've avoided. It is in these moments that we are given the courage to rise above, to rise beyond, and to become something greater than we have ever imagined. But let me ask you this. Have you ever experienced a night so deep, so still, that everything around you seemed to fall away? A night where the only thing that mattered was the truth you were being shown, the understanding you were receiving, and the clarity that settled into your bones like an old friend? It is as though, in the quiet of the night, time itself becomes irrelevant. The world moves slower, and the distractions fade into the background, leaving only you and what you must face. This is not a simple occurrence. It is not mere coincidence. It is a sacred time, a sacred invitation to listen, to understand, to know. And yet, how many of us truly hear it when it comes? How many of us pause long enough to truly listen to what is being said to us in the stillness? The reality is that too often, we remain too busy, too distracted, too wrapped up in our own thoughts to hear the call that is being made to us. But when you listen, when you truly listen, you begin to understand something profound. You understand that the quiet is not a void. It is not emptiness. The quiet is full. It is full of potential, full of possibility, full of answers. And those answers don't come in the form of loud proclamations or dramatic moments of divine revelation. No, the answers come quietly, like a soft wind on your face, like the gentle brush of a hand against yours. The answers come not in ways that we expect, but in ways that we need, ways that will lead us on paths we never thought to walk, to places we never dreamed of reaching. There are times when we seek direction, when we search for meaning, and the world seems to be silent. We pray, we hope, we yearn, but the answers seem elusive. The world is loud and our hearts are restless. But then, in the quiet of the night, the noise of the world falls away. The clutter in our minds settles. And there in the silence is where the wisdom we seek can be found. It doesn't come as a command. It doesn't arrive in a rush. It comes slowly, steadily, gently. What do you do when you hear this voice? What do you do when the call comes in the stillness? Do you embrace it? Do you allow it to change you, to transform you, to guide you to the places you need to go? Or do you turn away, too afraid, too doubtful, too distracted to heed the quiet invitation? The choice is always yours. And so, my friends, the question remains, in the stillness of the night, will you listen? Will you open your heart to the quiet wisdom that awaits you? Or will you turn away, lost in the noise of the world? The night is waiting, and with it comes the promise of answers, the promise of clarity, the promise of peace. But it is up to you to hear the call, to let the silence speak, and to let your soul be led to the truth that has been waiting for you all along. When the world lies dormant, seemingly untouched by the hustle and bustle of human ambition, it is in these moments of stillness that the greatest truths are often revealed. As the stars twinkle silently in the darkened sky above, and the moon casts its gentle glow over the earth below, there exists a sacred space. A space where time ceases to have dominion, where the pace of the world slows down, and where our deepest fears, hopes, and desires come into focus. It is in the quiet of the night that we are most vulnerable to receive the messages we need, messages that have long been waiting for us to hear. The quiet of the night does not judge, does not rush, it simply waits for us to acknowledge its presence, to open our hearts and minds to the deeper realities that lie hidden beneath the surface of our waking lives. There are moments, as the night grows deep and the world grows silent, when we sense a stirring within us, a calling, a beckoning, a pull towards something greater than ourselves. It is as though the very fabric of the universe, in its infinite wisdom, has conspired to bring us to this place, this moment of reflection and revelation. And in that moment, we realize that we are not alone in our struggles, our dreams, or our doubts. We are part of something much larger, something that transcends the boundaries of time and space. And in that quiet, we are reminded that we are never truly alone. We are always surrounded by a presence that seeks to guide us, to show us the way, even when we are unaware of its movements. Have you ever experienced a night so still that your heart seemed to beat in perfect rhythm with the pulse of the earth itself? A night so quiet that the air seemed to hum with an unseen energy, an energy that spoke to you not in words but in feelings, in emotions, in the very essence of your being? It is in these moments that we are given the opportunity to reconnect with the divine, to receive the wisdom that lies within the depths of our souls. It is in the quiet of the night that we are invited to strip away the layers of distraction, of doubt, and of fear that have accumulated over the years, and to stand in the rawness of our true selves, ready to receive the guidance that awaits us. But how often do we ignore these moments? How often do we allow the busyness of our lives to drown out the gentle whispers of wisdom that call to us in the stillness of the night? We live in a world that is constantly demanding our attention, a world that bombards us with noise and distractions at every turn. From the moment we wake up in the morning until the moment we lay our heads down to sleep at night, we are surrounded by a constant barrage of information, opinions, and demands. We are told what to wear, what to think, what to feel, and what to do. The world around us is loud, and it can be difficult to hear the quiet voice that seeks to lead us in a different direction. Yet, it is precisely in the quiet of the night that we are given the chance to hear the truth that we so desperately need. When the world falls away, and all that is left is the sound of our own breath, we are able to hear what is most important. It is in these moments that we are reminded of our purpose, of our mission, and of the path we must walk in order to fulfill our destiny. The quiet night offers us the space to reflect, to reassess, and to recalibrate our lives in alignment with the deeper truths that reside within us. But there is more to this silence than mere reflection. The quiet of the night is not just a time for introspection, it is also a time for revelation. It is in the stillness that we are able to hear the voice of wisdom that seeks to guide us, to show us the way forward. This voice does not speak in grand declarations or in loud proclamations. It speaks softly, gently, like a whisper carried on the wind. It does not demand our attention, but instead waits patiently for us to listen. And when we do listen, when we open our hearts and minds to the quiet messages that are being sent our way, we begin to understand that we are not alone in our journey. We begin to recognize that there is a higher purpose at work, a purpose that transcends our individual desires and ambitions. In these moments of revelation, we may find ourselves confronted with difficult truths, truths that challenge the way we have been living our lives, truths that call us to make changes we have been avoiding. And yet, these truths are not meant to harm us. They are meant to set us free. For it is only when we face the truth, when we allow ourselves to fully embrace the reality of our situation, that we are able to make the changes necessary to grow and evolve. The quiet of the night gives us the courage to confront our fears, to face our past mistakes, and to move forward with renewed strength and clarity. But let us not be mistaken. The quiet of the night is not always easy to embrace. It can be unsettling to sit in silence, to face the unknown, and to confront the parts of ourselves that we have long avoided. The night has a way of revealing our vulnerabilities, our insecurities, and our deepest fears. But it is only through this process of revelation that we can truly heal, truly grow, and truly transform. For it is in the quiet, in the moments of stillness, that we are given the opportunity to shed the old skin of who we were and to step into the fullness of who we are meant to be. In the quiet of the night, we are reminded of our connection to something greater than ourselves. We are reminded that we are not defined by our past mistakes, our failures, or our limitations. We are reminded that we are capable of change, of growth, of transformation. The night calls us to shed our old identities and to embrace the new life that is waiting for us just beyond the horizon. And in those quiet moments, we find the strength to rise, to overcome, and to step into the future with confidence and hope. As the night draws to a close and the first rays of dawn begin to break over the horizon, we are left with a sense of peace, of clarity, and of purpose. The quiet of the night has done its work. It has stripped away the distractions, the fears, and the doubts, and it has revealed to us the truth that we so desperately needed to hear. And now, as we move forward into the new day, we carry with us the wisdom, the strength, and the courage that we gained in the stillness of the night. It is said that the night holds many secrets, many mysteries, many revelations. And indeed it does. But it is not enough to simply wait for these secrets to reveal themselves. We must be willing to listen, to embrace the silence, and to allow ourselves to be transformed by the wisdom that is offered to us in these quiet moments. For it is in the quiet of the night that we find the answers we have been searching for, the guidance we have been longing for, and the peace that we so desperately need. The night is not to be feared. It is not a time of darkness and despair. It is a time of revelation, a time of renewal, and a time of connection. It is in the quiet of the night that we are given the opportunity to hear the voice of wisdom, to confront our fears, and to embrace the truth that lies deep within our souls. And when we listen, truly listen, we are forever changed. For the quiet of the night is not just a moment in time. It is a doorway to a new beginning, a new way of seeing the world, and a new way of being in it. The question is, will you open the door and step through? As the night stretches on, an ever-deepening silence envelops the world, and you find yourself standing at the precipice of something unknown, something sacred. In these moments, it's as if time itself takes a deep breath, pausing to allow us to hear the subtle stirring of life in its purest form. This silence, this profound stillness, is not merely an absence of noise, but an invitation. It beckons us to listen more intently, to tune into frequencies far beyond what we can touch or see. It's in this space of quietude that we often encounter revelations, small, quiet whispers that ask us to change, to evolve, or perhaps to let go of the very things that have weighed us down for far too long. But the silence does not rush us. It does not demand that we hear it instantly. It waits patiently, gently, like a teacher who knows that true understanding comes not in the rush, but in the surrender to the quiet unfolding of wisdom. When we embrace the stillness of the night, we are faced with an unsettling truth, that everything we think we know, everything we think we've figured out, may not be as it seems. We are called to confront our illusions, to examine the beliefs that have shaped us, and to challenge the narratives we've held onto so tightly. The night, in its quiet grandeur, offers us the grace to do this. It doesn't force us. It doesn't break us down. No, it simply invites us into a space of deep introspection, where we are given the opportunity to reassess, to rethink, and to realign ourselves with something deeper, something truer than the stories we've been telling ourselves. But these moments of reflection, of inner questioning, are not always comfortable. We are creatures of habit, and we often resist change, even when it is for our own good. To sit in the quiet and confront the parts of ourselves that we have buried deep inside can feel daunting, overwhelming, even frightening. The night, with its dark and silent embrace, forces us to reckon with the parts of ourselves we have hidden away, those parts that carry our pain, our shame, our fear. It is not easy to face them, to acknowledge them, and yet, this is precisely what the night offers us, the chance to look at ourselves honestly, without the distractions that the world so readily provides. In the midst of this quiet confrontation, we are gifted with a unique opportunity, the opportunity to heal. The night, with its cool embrace and gentle stillness, offers us the space to let go of the hurts we have carried for so long, the grudges we have held onto tightly, the regrets we have let fester within us. It is in the solitude of the night that we are invited to forgive not just others, but ourselves. We are given the chance to release the burdens that have weighed us down, to shed the layers of guilt and self-doubt that have kept us from moving forward. In the stillness of the night, we can find peace, we can find redemption, we can find freedom. But healing, like all things, is a process. It does not happen in an instant. It unfolds slowly, like the rising of the sun after a long, dark night. The quiet of the night allows us to begin this process of healing, but it is up to us to stay with it, to sit with the discomfort, to allow the pain to surface and be released. The night does not promise that this will be easy. It only promises that if we are willing to face what we have buried, we will find the freedom we seek. And yet the quiet of the night does not only offer us healing, it also offers us clarity. It is easy, in the noise of the world, to become lost in confusion, to become swept away by the demands of life. We are pulled in so many directions, our responsibilities, our ambitions, our fears, that we often forget the stillness, the quietude that can help us see things clearly again. But in the silence of the night, we are reminded of our true selves, of our true purpose. The noise of the world falls away, and what is left is the essence of who we are. And in this space, we find clarity, we find direction, we find the strength to take the next step, even when we do not have all the answers. The night is a teacher, and it teaches us not through words, but through its presence. It teaches us that silence is not an absence, but a presence, an invitation to connect with something beyond ourselves. When we learn to sit in the quiet, to embrace the stillness, we begin to hear the truths that are always present, though often overlooked. These truths, like soft whispers in the dark, offer us wisdom that we cannot find in the clamor of the day. They tell us what we need to know, not in a loud voice, but in a gentle nudge, a quiet understanding that grows within us over time. And as the night deepens, we realize that the quiet is not just a backdrop for our thoughts, but a sanctuary for our souls. It is in this sacred space that we reconnect with our innermost selves, that we hear the long-forgotten desires of our hearts, that we rediscover the dreams that we once thought were lost. The quiet night allows us to tap into a well of creativity, of inspiration, that has always been within us, but that we have often ignored in the hustle and bustle of daily life. In the stillness, we are reminded that we are creators, that we have the power to shape our lives, to choose the path we walk, to make a difference in the world around us. There is an immense power in the quiet of the night, but it is a power that requires us to be still, to be open, to be receptive. The night does not impose itself upon us. It invites us to enter into its peace, to rest in its tranquility, and to allow its wisdom to flow through us. It offers us a space to pause, to reflect, to heal, and to grow. And yet this power is not without its challenges. The night forces us to confront the things we have been avoiding, the fears, the doubts, the unresolved conflicts within ourselves. But in facing these things, we are given the opportunity to transcend them, to move beyond them, and to emerge stronger, wiser, and more whole. As the night wanes and the first light of dawn begins to break through the darkness, we are left with a sense of renewal, of purpose, and of peace. The quiet of the night has done its work. It has shown us the truth that was always there, just waiting for us to hear it. And as we step into the new day, we carry with us the wisdom and clarity that we gained in the stillness. We are ready to face the challenges that lie ahead, knowing that we have the strength to overcome them, knowing that we are not alone in our journey. In this way, the quiet of the night becomes not just a time of reflection, but a time of transformation. It is in the silence that we find our true selves, that we discover our purpose, and that we receive the guidance we need to move forward. The night, in its stillness, offers us a gift of clarity, of peace, and of profound insight. but it is a gift that we must be willing to receive. The question then is whether we will answer the call of the night, whether we will allow ourselves to be transformed by its quiet wisdom. Will we listen? Will we open our hearts and minds to the truth that awaits us in the silence? Only in the quiet of the night will we truly know. In the vastness of the night, when the world around us sleeps, we are often left to our own thoughts, our own feelings, and our own reflections. The stillness of the night brings with it a sense of intimacy, a quiet closeness that can feel almost overwhelming at times. This is the moment when the noise of the world fades away and we are left face to face with the deepest parts of ourselves, those parts that we often hide, ignore, or bury beneath layers of distractions. It is in the stillness of the night that we find ourselves at our most vulnerable, and in that vulnerability, we find the opportunity to heal, to grow, and to be transformed. In the silence of the night, there is space to breathe, to rest, and to remember who we truly are. The weight of the day falls away, and we are left with nothing but the quiet hum of the universe, a hum that is constant, steady, and unwavering. In these moments, we realize that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, something infinite, something timeless. The night reminds us of our connection to the greater whole, to the forces of nature, to the rhythms of the earth, and to the very pulse of life itself. And as we sit in the stillness, we begin to sense that we are not alone, that we are supported, guided, and held in a way that we cannot fully understand, but can feel deeply within us. But as we open ourselves to the quiet of the night, we also open ourselves to the reality of our own inner struggles. The quiet gives voice to our fears, our anxieties, and our regrets. It forces us to look at the parts of ourselves that we have long avoided, those parts of us that we are ashamed of, that we wish we could forget. The quiet does not allow us to hide from these parts. Instead, it brings them into the light, showing us the places where we need to heal, where we need to grow, where we need to change. And though this can be uncomfortable, it is also a gift. For in the quiet of the night, we are given the chance to face our own darkness, to confront our past, and to begin the work of healing the wounds that have held us captive for far too long. But healing is not a simple process, nor is it something that happens quickly. It takes time, patience, and a willingness to sit with the discomfort. The night teaches us that we cannot rush healing, that it must unfold at its own pace in its own time. In the silence, we are invited to be still, to wait, and to trust that the process is working, even when we cannot see the results immediately. The night does not promise that the road ahead will be easy or without struggle, but it does promise that we will not walk it alone. For in the stillness, we find a sense of peace, a sense of calm that allows us to move forward even in the face of uncertainty. As we sit in the silence, we may also become aware of the dreams, the desires, and the callings that have been buried beneath the noise of our daily lives. The quiet of the night offers us the chance to hear the faint whispers of our deepest aspirations, those dreams that we have neglected, that we have forgotten, or that we have been too afraid to pursue. It is in these moments of stillness that we are reminded of our true passions, of the things that make our hearts come alive, and of the purpose that we are meant to fulfill in this life. The quiet of the night does not judge these dreams. It simply invites us to acknowledge them, to honor them, and to consider how we might bring them to life. There is something powerful about the night, about its ability to strip away the external distractions and bring us back to the core of who we are. In the quiet, we rediscover our strength, our resilience, and our capacity to love, to create, and to heal. The night does not force us to change, but it creates the space for change to happen. It provides us with the clarity to see what needs to be released and what needs to be nurtured. And it offers us the courage to step forward into the unknown, knowing that we are guided by something greater than ourselves. Yet, the night also carries with it a sense of uncertainty. It is a time of transition, a time of waiting, a time of growth that often comes with discomfort. There are no guarantees in the night. There is no roadmap for the journey that we are on. But it is precisely this uncertainty that makes the night so powerful. For in the unknown, we are forced to surrender, to let go of the need for control, and to trust that the universe is unfolding as it should. The night teaches us to trust in the process, to have faith that even when we cannot see the way forward, the path is being laid out before us step by step. As we continue to sit in the quiet, we may begin to feel a sense of peace settle over us. This peace does not come from the absence of struggle or pain, but from the acceptance of them. The night does not promise that we will never face challenges, but it does offer us a sense of calm in the midst of them. It teaches us that peace is not found in the absence of difficulty, but in the presence of trust. It is in the quiet of the night that we are reminded that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way, that we have the strength and the wisdom to navigate the challenges of life, even when we feel uncertain or overwhelmed. In the quiet, we are also reminded of the importance of patience. In a world that moves at a rapid pace, where we are constantly bombarded by information and demands, the night offers us the chance to slow down, to breathe, and to be present in the moment. The quiet of the night teaches us that not everything needs to be rushed, that some things take time to unfold. The most beautiful things in life, whether they are relationships, dreams, or personal growth, are not always the things that come quickly or easily. They are the things that require patience, persistence, and an openness to the process. The night teaches us to trust the timing of our lives, to believe that everything is unfolding as it should, even when we cannot see the full picture. The quiet of the night also allows us to connect with our inner wisdom, that deep well of knowledge and insight that resides within us all. In the busyness of the day, we often forget to listen to this inner voice, to trust the wisdom that we carry inside. But in the quiet of the night, we are invited to listen, to hear the gentle whispers of our intuition, and to follow its guidance. This inner wisdom is always available to us, but it is in the stillness of the night that we are most likely to hear it clearly. The night creates the conditions for us to reconnect with our inner knowing, to trust ourselves, and to move forward with confidence. As the night wears on, we may begin to feel a sense of renewal. The weight of the day has lifted, and we are left with a sense of clarity, of purpose, and of peace. The quiet of the night has allowed us to reconnect with ourselves, to heal old wounds, and to gain insight into the direction we need to take. It has given us the space to rest, to reflect, and to grow. And as we prepare to move forward into the new day, we carry with us the lessons that we have learned in the stillness of the night. We carry with us the strength to face whatever comes our way, the wisdom to navigate the journey ahead, and the peace that comes from knowing that we are never truly alone. The night may be quiet, but it is far from empty. It is rich with meaning, with potential, and with the possibility of transformation. In the quiet of the night, we are given the opportunity to heal, to grow, and to reconnect with our true selves. And in that silence, we find the space to create the life that we truly desire, to manifest the dreams that we have carried in our hearts, and to step forward into a new day with renewed strength. And as the night deepens and the stillness surrounds us, we come to understand that it is not in the noise of the world, but in the quiet moments of reflection, that we find our truest selves. In the silence, we are offered the opportunity to heal, to reflect, and to reconnect with our deepest aspirations. The night, though seemingly empty, is full of wisdom, inviting us to confront our fears, release old wounds, and gain clarity about the path ahead. It teaches us that peace is not the absence of struggle, but the presence of trust, patience, and understanding. The quiet moments of the night allow us to listen to the whispers of our soul, guiding us to the truths that lie beneath the surface. They grant us the space to grow, to realign, and to rediscover our inner strength. As we face the quiet, we find that we are not alone. We are surrounded by a deeper presence, a guiding force that gently leads us through the challenges of life. And as the night gives way to dawn, we step forward with renewed purpose, carrying with us the peace, clarity, and wisdom found in its quiet embrace.